So, as you all know that we have covered the first two types of data types, okay? So, if you had not learned it yet, so I will provide the link in the description down below. You can find out the text type and numeric type information, okay? And if you are in the playlist, so directly go to the previous video and you can easily learn it. Otherwise, ignore it. So, let's get started. So in this part, we are going to cover the four types. They are easy like these types, okay? So the types which we are going to cover in this video are sequence types, mapping, set, and Boolean. So let's start with the sequence. So sequence have three classes. The first class is list, tuple, range. Okay, so there is the last one is range, and this is a bit advanced, so we will skip it and we will move on. Okay, now I will make variable for list which will be named as class 4. And remember that if you are making any type of list, it will be a list. So what you have to do is to use the square brackets, nothing else. Okay, so that forms a list. Now what you can do, you can now write any type of string, any type of integer, any type of, you can say, float or complex, so you can make a list of it. Now of course you will not put only one value, because it is a list. We can assign multiple values. In all the sequence classes we can type multiple values, okay? But the thing which tells that it is a list, that are square brackets. Okay, so you are now assigning multiple values to the list. Now what you have to do is to give comma after making a value. Okay, so let's suppose it's a string. You don't have to put the comma inside the string, because if in case if you are making another string, then it will be supposed as only one string in this list. Okay, now I have given here comma. Now I can write here banana, so you can continue like this. Okay, so now let's try to run it in the output, and as you can see here that we have printed it apple and banana. Now it had, as it is, printed apple and banana. If you see in this case I give here space. Okay, now if we see here again, and you can see here it's not giving any error. So it's up to you whether you have to not give any space or go without giving any space. And if you see here, we have printed this type. We have asked Python to type the class printed, which is list. Now we are done with the string. Now let's talk about integer. So we will not talk about the integer. Now I will only type here the integers that will make a whole list. Let's suppose there's 12, 34, 78 and 348, then 420. So these are my numbers. So it's up to you. You can make much smaller list or you can make much bigger list. It's up to you. It's unlimited. So I have made this till 420. Now you can see it's in the sequence. But no problem, if you don't want to care about the sequence, so that should be also possible. Like I will run here, not giving any error. So it's up to you. And now let's talk about the float. Okay, so I don't want to disturb it. I can change its decimal places, so this should be possible. And as you can see here, it's not giving any error. So that's how you can also use here float. Now after list there comes tuple. So you know that we can assign multiple items in a single list. Tuple is also like that, but a bit different. So let's talk about class 5, which will be tuple and square brackets. They specify that it is a list. Now here, for specifying the tuple, we will use here round brackets. If you want to paste the same list which is here, so you can also use here. And I will just change variable name and then let's run it. And as you can see that it had printed the tuple. Now we will learn this tuple in detail in the other videos, because I had to wind up all these classes in this video so that you can understand how many data types can be used as a variable in Python. Okay, so now let's talk about the dictionary. So dictionary here is used to store data in a key value pairs. Now what does it mean, key value pairs? So let's take an example of English dictionary. There are written words and on the other side they're given the meanings. Okay, so the words are the key, and then we talk about the value that is the meaning that is given of the word. Okay, so you can take that example. So what I will do, I will make another variable that will be called as class 6 and give equals to. Now, so I forgot something, that this dictionary is in the mapping type of Python. Okay, so mapping type there only contains dictionary, and I've explained you how can we use dictionary here. Okay, so let's start. We talked about list. Also, this square brackets represents that it is a list. This round bracket represents that it is a tuple. Now here there's also an example that if we want to represent the dictionary, then curly brackets. If you want to verify that it is a dictionary, we can type here 6. I will just comment down here for a while, and if we talk about the class 6, it will print the class 6 type, and as you can see that it is telling that it is a class dic, means that it is a dictionary. Okay, so let's continue. I will remove from the comment. So we talked about the key value pairs as it is written here, key colon value. For example, key colon value as it is. Okay, of course it will give an error because key and value are not defined, and as you all know that we can use here string, integer, float and complex. So let's start with the string. I will just give here inverted commas. Now it will be removed from the error. So let's run this code, and as you can see that it is not giving any error. We asked Python to print class 6. Okay, so it had printed all the dictionary, that is all written here, and also we have asked Python to print the type of it. So class 6 type is dic. Now let's take another example of integer. If you want to extend the dictionary, then you can give here comma and then give space, or not give any space, you can just continue. So I want to give a space here. I have to give here 12. This is the key. Then give here colon 24. So now let's run it, and as you can see here, it is not also giving any error. It had also printed here the second type. So that's also amazing. Now let's take a last example of float. That could be 34.6, 67.9. Now if we run it again, it's unlimited, that no matter how many items in the dictionary you will add, so it's up to you. I had to only give an example of those 3. Okay, so I hope you will understand it. So that was easy, by the way, and for more information about it, of course we will continue it learning in the other tutorials. So we are done with the dictionary. So now let's move to the next data type, which is set type. In set type there contains only 2 classes. The first one is set and the second one is frozen set. So because the frozen set is advanced one, so we will continue it later on in the advanced tutorials. So let's start with the set. I will make another variable which will be named as class 7, and if you remember in the mathematics we use curly brackets whenever we talk about sets. That's how Python will also specify it, by using curly brackets, but it will not specify at all, because if we will leave the set variable blank, so it will specify a dictionary. So let's test it. If I write class 7 at both sides and we will run it now, and as you can see that this class is a dictionary, because you can see here there we are also specifying the curly brackets as a dictionary. So let's start the operation and let's make it a set. Now for doing it, we can do the same thing that we have done in the list and tuple. So we can take vegetables here like tomato, onion, carrot and cucumber. So this is my set. So let's find out whether it is still a dictionary or it had changed to set. And as you can see that it had changed set. So as you can see the format here, I've shared key value in the dictionaries, and that was the thing that we were not doing in set. So in set we can add multiple items with curly brackets, and in dictionary we make key value pairs with curly brackets. So that's amazing, right? So we are done with the string, and now I will show you how we can add the items of integer and float. So I will say here 23, here I will say 34, here I will say 45, and finally at last I will say here 78. And now if you see here, it is not giving any error, and it is still on set because we are not using key value pairs. And as you can see here, that it is saying that there is a set and it is containing integer. And now I will show you how you can add float in the set variable. Like first is 23.9, second is 34.4, third is 45.7, and finally the fourth is 78.2. Now let's run it and find out. And as you can see that it is still on set, and it had printed the whole set, and it is saying that it is a set of float items. So that's how you can use here set. I hope you will understand it and not be confused in the dictionary and set that we are using the curly brackets both. And we will move to the next type of the data type, which is Boolean type. So Boolean is a data type not only of Python, it is a data type of the whole computer science that has two possible values. One is true and the other is false. Let's talk about this name Boolean. Now the inventor of the true and false logic, they both were invented by an English mathematician, George Boole, and nowadays it is known as a Boolean. So I hope you will understand it. Now I will make another variable called as class 8 and will be equals to true. So what do you understand from it? So I know you are confused how it could be a true. We talked about the logic, so as it is we can write here logics. Like if I want to write here false, so I will write here false. Now you will be asking, where is it used? So the answer is that it is used when you are creating two conditions in your Python code. Like if the condition is true, then it will say this. If the condition is false, then it will say this. So that's how easy is that. So we will have more explanations about this topic in the other tutorials. So I hope you have understand the format of the data types, that how we can use them, and we will take more explanation about them so that you can completely understand what actually they are. So till this point, I hope you have understood everything. If you have any problem, let me know in the comment section, and if you like this video, give thumbs up to our video, and see you guys next time.